On a busy stretch of one of Britain's busiest motorways, the M23, Surrey police officers John Bryan and Sean Begley are out on patrol.
That's it there.
The vehicle has been flagged on the system for having no tax.
So a vehicle went by a short while ago in lane 4, which is a Lexus, and it hasn't been taxed since the end of August, and now we're getting on for mid-December.
But there's a problem. The vehicle seems to have disappeared.
So we'd like to stop it, but in the dark it changed lanes and we have lost sight of it. But we're pretty sure we know where it's going, so we're just trying to make some ground. We expect it to come off at the next junction, which is not far away. Is that it there in lane 1? Or is that a dark car? No. Is that it there? Yeah.
They spot the Lexus, but it's already turned off at the junction and they've gone past the exit.
You can pull on the hard shoulder and reverse back.
It's heavy traffic, and so we are now reversing on the hard shoulder, which we are allowed to do, very professionally, in order to find it again.
The car, which is registered to a female owner, is in a queue of traffic waiting at a red light.
The question is, has she made it through yet or not? I mean, the queue was long, but it does move quickly and it's now green.
There's a chance they could lose the car, so it's time for action.
Well, I'd put the blues on the phone with you.
Yeah, thank you.
Right, I think she probably made it through.
No, there she is.
Oh yeah, there she is. I'll put the window down so we'll go in front of her and she can follow us and go left at the first roundabout. Yeah. Oh, it's a male driving. I'm expecting a female. Hello. We're going to pull in front of you. Can you follow us? We're going to go left to the roundabout, take the first exit off the roundabout. Follow us. Yeah, okay.
PC Brian has some questions.
Whose car is it?
It's under my name.
It's under your name?
Yes, sir.
And you're driving home, yeah?
Yeah,
You've got a driving licence on you?
I haven't, no.
Okay, it's fine. I'll do that remotely in a second. The reason we stopped you is the vehicle hasn't been taxed since August. Do you know anything about that?
Has it what, sorry?
Been taxed since August.
You know what, to be honest, my missus sorts all she sorts the insurance and
Okay.
Obviously I was unaware.
Okay. Can you just turn your steering wheel all the way to the left or the right for me?
Yeah. Is there something wrong with the car as well?
No, it's just a tax.
Just a tax?
Yeah.
The driver has contacted his partner,
Hello, is it your car?
who has arrived on the scene.
It hasn't been taxed since the end of August. Do you know anything about that?
No, my mum does it. I know it sounds pathetic, but it's like
Okay.
Yeah,
my
we
mum's
bought it off
car.
her mum.
Okay.
My mum signed it over to us and I thought she'd taxed it.
How long have you had it for? Well, she can't tax it on your behalf, really. It has to
but
be
We
you.
thought when we bought it would already have tax.
Okay. When she transferred ownership, she gets a rebate and the tax doesn't carry over, and then the new owner is then responsible for taxing it.
The number of untaxed vehicles on UK roads is on the increase, with almost 2% of all cars not being taxed. But there's another problem.
So you don't have a driving licence, do you? No, you don't. So we're going to be taking the car, no tax, and you driving otherwise and in accordance. So obviously you've got no L plates, and there's no one supervising you at the moment.
He's driving on a provisional licence, and he's now facing another test.
Can you get a breath test? Because obviously we'll do that as well.
Breath test?
Yeah. Don't eat, smoke or drink anything for the moment. It's just because it's on the run up to Christmas, and so we breath test everyone that we have a power to do so.
Because you commit a moving traffic offence, I have a power in law to require you to provide a specimen of breath for analysis. Failure or refusal could lead to prosecution. What I need you to do is take a deep breath in, place your lips around the tube, make a good seal, and then flow out nice and gently until I tell you to stop.
In Manchester, Charles Wilson recovery driver Keith is heading off to a suspected stolen car called in by the police. Being the granddaddy of Wilson's has earned him a suitable moniker.
Yeah, they call me Papa Smurf because my hat keeps riding up on my bald head and because I'm the eldest one here.
I've been here for ages.
But despite having this nickname for several years, he's still not quite mastered the outfit.
I said to the wife, if you see a blue one of these, get it as not a dark blue, not a navy blue, you know, like the Smurf blue.
Keith knows the importance of raising a smile amongst his colleagues.
I think these lads that I work with, if one of them's grumpy or one of them's got something wrong, whatever, you know, home life, whatever. Hang on, Eli. Like when Gary's a bit down and we start having a bit of a laugh and a giggle and he lightens up. Oh, yeah! Like everybody does.
What are you doing? What have I done, Dad? I'm not telling you if you don't know.
I think that's why I like it so much, because we have a laugh here.
Oh. you went in to zoom in though, didn't you?
Like Gary says, it's like a box of chocolate. Yeah, what you're going to get.
The abandoned car Keith is on the lookout for has been left in a part of the city that is even new to him.
It looks like some processing plant of some description, but I said, by the looks of this and where it is, that's why I suspect it's stolen. Never been here before. That looks like old road, that. Oh, it is. That's where all the tarmac goes. Oh, there it is. Oh, and the window's down. Very nice. And a manual handbrake. Oh, it's a doddle job.
Almost immediately, Keith spots a telltale sign that all is not as it seems with this car.
Well, looking at this, it looks like it's got false plates on. Usually, the wood screws let you know. And let's have a look what's behind it.
At Mora Motors in the Scottish Highlands, colleagues Gregor and Neil are surveying a recovery which is remote even by their standards.
No. There's John's, you know, you turn off at John's, you turn in there, and you have to go through the gap in the wall. He's in that house there. This is probably the tightest bit, but you...
The location of the stricken vehicle is somewhere Mora veteran Neil has never ventured.
I think it's a bit where I go down and turn right there and kind of come back myself.
It's off into the unknown.
Believe it or not, I've travelled most roads in this. I'll maybe come back because I thought I'd been everywhere, but yeah, I can picture the sign, you know. But
He's going to have to overcome some tricky obstacles.
unsuitable for long vehicles. Well, there's a track right enough there, as Gregor said. Don't think I've went too far yet. And this is a dead end. Don't think there's anything along here.
His only option is to reverse. After a tricky manoeuvre, he decides it's time to let technology lend a hand.
I'll phone the office because they can bring me up on the screen. Hello, how you doing? Can you bring me up on tracker?
In Manchester, Charles Wilson's recovery driver Keith is in an unusual part of the city.
Well, by the looks of this, you can know why it's suspected stolen.
He's here to collect an abandoned Ford Mondeo, a vehicle that isn't quite what it seems.
Looking at this, it looks like it's got false plates on. And let's have a look what's behind it. Oh, yes. Yes, they've not even bothered taking the old plates off. I think we'll find that when we get back, when we do a chassis check. And I don't think they've had it long, looking at it. When you see stickers like this and writing on the window, it's usually come from an auction house.
The police have called in for the vehicle to be recovered. PCSO Alex was first on the scene.
It was dumped here last night. There's two sets of plates on this vehicle, the true plates underneath, false plates on top, so they're untraceable. if they're using their own cars, it's not traceable to their home address where they live. From a criminal's point of view, it's a good way to commit crime and not get caught as quickly.
In crimes like this, legitimate plates are stolen from another vehicle, usually of a similar make and colour. Then they're placed over the car's actual plates. This means that if the police check the registration, it won't flag as an issue, as the car will appear to be legit.
If this is being used in crime, it could come back to the owner of the vehicle that's not done anything wrong, committed no crime, etc. So we'll continue with that after this vehicle's been seized.
PCSO Keeley confirms that the car and its possible occupants are being investigated.
There was an incident yesterday evening where 3 males have made off in this vehicle.
If the vehicle's been involved in crime, that gives us another power to seize that vehicle. There's a bit of history that we're aware of already, so we'll get the car lifted.
Time to get the vehicle up on the truck, and Keith's years of experience come in handy.
But sometimes it's easier to actually get the car up with the handbrake on. Allows more control of the car. Yeah, it's coming over. If you jerk it like that, what it does, it slides. Because it's front wheel drive and it's in gear, it's helping me bring it across. It's all things that I've learned in all my years.
With the Mystery Mondeo firmly secured on the truck, recovery veteran Keith heads back to base.
I'm 66, coming up to 67 now. And I should have retired, but can't afford to at the moment. My plan was to go through till Christmas, but it might be next Christmas now by the look of things. I like my lifestyle, you see. I like going on holiday. I like going Mexico and Dominican Republic and stuff like that.
But his sunny trips abroad are a distant memory as Keith arrives back at the pound in rainy Rusholme. Back in Northamptonshire, it's another busy day, and not all vehicles coming into CMG are four-wheelers.
I've got appointments at 11:30. I come to have a look at my motorbike.
Oh, right, okay. I'll take photo ID as well, please. The Harley Davidson, aren't you?
How did you guess?
Thousands of motorcyclists a year are involved in accidents.
I was hit by a car coming off a roundabout on Thursday evening last. That is all I know. I was unconscious until I got to hospital. I've had concussion for the past few days. I've got severe bruising all around my back. And I guess I'm about to be even more un-okay when I see the state of my motorbike. It's my pride and joy.
Brian is prepared for the worst.
The police showed me a couple of pictures of the motorbike when I was in hospital. I didn't get to see them in any detail, but I'm not expecting it to be in too good a condition.
He's also worried he might get emotional.
If you can cope with seeing a grown man cry, it was my pride and joy. You know, I'd wanted one since I was a 5-year-old kid, so and then it gets taken away from me like this. But you know, these things happen.
You've come to the Harley, haven't you?
Yes.
If I give you those back,
Thank you.
and then if I can get you to sign for me, so you take in your stuff out.
Recovery driver Ashley has seen his fair share of accidents.
Yeah, the way I always see it though, mate, is though it's one of them, you're still walking and talking, you know, bikes can be replaced. In this job here at CMG, not every day is a good day, you know? Not just for the customers' cars we pick up or, you know, the accidents we see, it's for us as well, you know, like, if you go out to a fatal accident, you know, or a serious accident, you know, and you look at cars and you think, God, that's badly damaged. And it does affect a lot of us, you know. You do go home and you have to sort of learn to look past it. It does make you look a lot differently at vehicles and things.
For Brian, this has been an exhausting experience.
Yeah, I only just got them from America.
Oh, Jesus.
Right, that's okay, that's done its job. I'm happy with that. That's a Harley part, that's a Harley part. That's not a Harley part, that's not a Harley part.
Yeah, to be honest, mate, looking at it now, you know. it's upsetting, but it's one of them. It's sort of like...
It is, but it's not. You know, I'm gonna be honest. It crashes better than my last sports bike did.
It's all safety features nowadays, all these bars and that.
Well, I've had those fitted.
Yeah.
Despite everything, Brian is relieved that there isn't more damage to his bike.
Bent bars, scuffed fairing, big dent in the tank. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I've come up a lot worse than the motorbike, to be honest.
Yeah.
Right, I'll whip my bits off out.
Yeah,
and,
no worries, mate, yeah.
But there's some bad news.
There doesn't seem to be any power to it.
Unless it's just where, if the ignition, like any lights was left on, the battery's died. If the light was left on it at all. I don't know how it works without the key in it. But
there's the key for it anyway, so.
Yeah.
Ultimately, though, and perhaps thanks to Brian's careful driving, the situation is far less severe than it could have been.
Somewhat relieved. It's not as bad as what I'd expected. It obviously shows that I wasn't doing a ridiculous speed, which is not what Harleys are about. So, you know, it's about enjoying being out on the open road rather than going as fast as you possibly can. So it just shows that.
Brian really is one of the lucky ones and is able to look forward to indulging his passion once again.
It's more of the lifestyle than the motorcyclist, the typical motorcyclist lifestyle. With a Harley Davidson, it's the people that you meet. To me, it's about slowing down, enjoying the countryside, and you know, enjoying motorcycling again.
On a junction just off one of the UK's busiest motorways, the M23, officers Sean Begley and John Bryan have stopped an untaxed vehicle whose driver was also driving on a provisional licence.
The reason we stopped you is the vehicle hasn't been taxed since August. Do you know anything about that?
As well as checking that he's insured on the vehicle, he's also having to provide a specimen of breath to check if he's been drinking.
Have you had any alcohol in the last 20 minutes?
I haven't, no.
Do you smoke?
I smoked.
Nothing in the last 5?
In the last 5, no.
No. What I need you to do is take a deep breath in, place your lips around the tube, make a good seal, and then just blow out nice and gently until I tell you to stop. Stop. Lovely, thank you. The tube is yours, and that's 0, so that's fantastic.
Lovely,
thank you.
Finally, some good news.
Does the insurance company know that you've only got a provisional licence?
Yeah, they do, yeah.
Why haven't you got around to getting a full licence?
You know, I've failed numerous tests.
Okay.
And if I'm completely honest, like, obviously I want to provide for the family.
Now they need to carry out a further check to see if he's insured on the car.
Yeah, we're on a stop check at the moment with the vehicle and the driver. Can you find out from eShore whether they're A, aware he's a provisional licence holder, and B, whether they'll cover him as he's not being supervised driving?
Is he displaying L plates?
No.
Yeah, they will not confirm cover because he's driving outside the terms of his licence.
The Motor Insurers Bureau confirmed the driver's insurance company will not cover him.
You'll be seizing the vehicle, yeah?
Yes, we will be. Yeah, did you hear that, John? Confirm no cover. No cover, right, okay. Obviously, we thought we were just dealing with a vehicle which had no tax, 3 months out of date, which is not the most serious thing in the world. But it turns out it's being driven by someone who doesn't have a licence. He's not got L plates on the vehicle, not being supervised, so we're going to take the car off him, primarily for the licence offence. Also, the insurance company have said they're not going to cover him because he's driving outside the conditions of his licence. This is the sticker that is telling everybody this car has not got the correct insurance. Everyone who gets their car seized for no insurance will have this sticker placed on there. So when it's on the back of the recovery truck, it tells everyone why we seized it.
You'll get a letter in the post explaining that you've been prosecuted for driving without a licence and no insurance. You'll get an opportunity then plead if you want to or go to court, it's up to you. All the instructions on what to do will be on that letter. This piece of paper then is how you get the vehicle back.
The cost to get the car back?
It's 150 is the flat recovery, it's £20 per day storage.
With the driver heading off by foot, the recovery vehicle is on the scene to take the car to the pound.
We stopped this vehicle. It doesn't have any tax. It's being driven by a provisional licence holder who's told me he can't pass his test, he keeps failing it. So he's driving otherwise in accordance with the licence. The insurance company have confirmed that they're not going to cover him for the journey which he's undertaking. So yes, we have taken the vehicle as a road safety measure to prevent it being used.
There is legislation in place that forces insurance companies to honour insurance in such circumstances. So whilst they're saying they won't cover him for this journey because he's not driving in accordance with his licence, they will still have to cover third-party liability. So if he were to have a crash with someone else, they would have to pay out.
Yeah, there are very good reasons. We have a process by which you gain an entitlement to drive in this country, and if you can't complete it, then that obviously means you shouldn't be driving. I do feel sorry for him in the sense that he's got a job, he needs to earn money, he needs to get to work, he has a family, they need to function, but driving isn't a right in this country because you have to show that you're competent in order to be able to do it because other people's lives are at risk.
The vehicle was collected from the pound by the owner a week later after paying a £290 reclaim fee. In Manchester, at the Charles Wilson Recovery Yard, recovery driver Keith has collected a car for the police. The Ford Mondeo was left abandoned, displaying false plates.
Just release the handbrake, take it out of gear, and it should be on its way.
In order to establish the true identity of the car, he needs to find the vehicle's unique identification number.
The stamped one. I'm looking for the stamped chassis number. Some people call it a VIN plate.
If he finds this, he can confirm the registration of the car.
It actually tells you the make, model and everything. Some have them in the boot. I don't know if this will open. Oh, it does. Oh, that's all right. See, a lot of this can be changed. Normally on Fords, they're on the floor there. I always thought it was there. I'll go and get Ian, if I can find him. Oh.
The good thing about working in a place like Charles Wilson is that there's always someone that knows.
There's a VIN plate on Mondeo.
Is it like a Ford Galaxy where it's got that flap down the side of the seat?
Ah. Driver's seat, innit?
Yeah, driver's seat.
There she is. Oh, taking a picture. I find it easier than writing it down. Just take these number plates off to reveal the true number plates underneath. And they've just used basically wood screws to put them on. Some don't even use that. Some of them just use sticky tape.
With the chassis number and the car's original plates, Keith can now check if this is the correct registration for the car.
We run this and it'll tell me if that reg goes with that chassis number.
Ensuring the pound notify the correct person that their vehicle is being held.
Plates underneath of the real plate, and it comes back to a grey Mondeo and everything's right on it. The chassis number's correct, every single digit's correct. That'll do, mate.
This car's true journey will always be shrouded in mystery, but Keith's been around long enough to have a fair idea about what may have happened.
It looks like they bought it from an auction. The cheap runaround, and they've put some plates on it. They bought it for 300 quid. And that's nothing these days. A few years ago, that was a lot of money.
Back in a very remote part of the Scottish Highlands,
Can you bring me up on tracker?
Mora Motors recovery driver Neil is on his way to a broken down vehicle, but he's got lost.
I was going to get me on tracker and then compare me with where it shows for the vehicle, but it's maybe come too far. I've come too far, so I'll hate to try and get burrowed round.
After backing up for a few hundred metres, he uses a T-junction to perform a three-point turn. Having failed to locate the address with his own local knowledge and the sat-nav, Neil decides to go old school and rings the client to help locate him.
I turned in the turning area where they've got the grit box. Does that ring a bell? Where is the guy?
He comes down to the main road to guide Neil in.
Oh, I see what he's meaning about the hole in the wall. That's right, I never noticed that.
The location has an entrance which is difficult to find, and the hard part isn't over yet.
Quite difficult to see, you know.
Having driven into the property, Neil now has to perform yet another reverse manoeuvre in order to have the lorry facing the right way to load the stricken vehicle.
25-point turn it.
It wasn't quite 25 points, but finally Neil is where he needs to be.
Righty, much more exercise for the day.
With his recovery vehicle in position, he now has to diagnose the problem with the car.
It's just, it's all gone kind of
Has
floppy.
it got that horrible smell of it?
No, it's...
No?
There's an issue with the clutch, and so unable to get the car into gear, he's going to have to push it onto his lorry.
See, I might be able to take it forward and onto this, round the corner on the starter. Unless you're feeling muscular this morning, eh?
Neil needs to move the lorry forward so that there's enough space to manoeuvre the car up onto it.
Try, I'll see if we can get her going on the thing, okay?
The car is stuck in gear and keeps stalling every time the engine starts.
Hey, we'll push it now. So there we go. Oh, change the 2 years, what a difference.
Well, it's a clutch, and it happened to me back in July. It's the hydraulic oil for the clutch, all just emulsified or something, you know. There's just nothing in the clutch now. It just flops onto the floor sort of thing, you know.
It'll not be fast, but it'll do the job.
But it looks like it's one of those days.
If it was straight, it'd be okay. It's just it's going to slide to where it wants to go. Once you hit the hill, it'll probably start running away, but if you just try and keep it a wee bit tight with the foot brake, that'd be brilliant.
With the winch repositioned, Neil is finally able to get the car up onto the lorry.
You got a tow bar on? Is there a tow bar? No, it's fine. That's lovely. You just close your windows and
Handbrake on.
handbrake on. Aye, no matter if we put it in gear or not. Right, I'll get away. Thanks very much. Cheers.
With the car securely fixed, Neil heads back to the workshop, albeit very carefully.
I just realised I haven't had anything to eat today.
It's been a long, drawn-out day for Neil, but once back at base, he can finally get a well-deserved break.
Certainly, I'll done back for a cup of tea, at least. If there's nothing else to do, then.
Across the country, no one keeps Britain's car pounds on their toes as much as the police, who have their work cut out ensuring the vehicles on our roads are legal and above board. That includes commercial vehicles too. And although accidents are rare, their unusual loads...
I'm interested just about the safety of the load. It's got no netting over there and logs.
Gargantuan size...
It's got around about 11 tonnes of explosives on board.
A number of miles clocked up by the drivers.
We've checked ANPR and this has been moving about quite a lot in the last month.
Mean that enterprises like Operation Methane, taking place today in Rothwell, Northamptonshire, are a crucial tool in the fight against car crime. Today, commercial vehicles are being randomly checked, be it for a suspected heavy load.
And this is an overweight prohibition notice. So what this says is that the vehicle's now prohibited from going on a public highway until the excess weight has been removed.
Or just to check that the unusual or dangerous substances being transported are as safe as can be.
We just need some advice as to how to handle the substance that's inside of it.
Right. And it isn't long before a Mercedes Sprinter is stopped in its tracks. PC Ian Bayliss has intercepted it on the A14.
So we've pulled over the Mercedes Sprinter. It comes up as a flatbed van, but it's actually being used as a recovery vehicle, and we've run over it with the DVSA chaps, and just to see if that vehicle should be on the road, and it really shouldn't be. It's in very poor condition.
An unroadworthy recovery vehicle really is double trouble.
When it passed me, the hitch between the van and the trailer was bouncing. It looked very unstable. And I've had a look at the front of the van as well. There's lots of dents, lots of marks all over it. And in the windscreen, right in the driver's vision, is some writing which usually means the van has come from Recovery Pound or even has been dealt with already for offences.
The connection between the towing vehicle and the trailer is called a hitch. Any problems here, and this trailer certainly won't go off without one. In fact, in the worst case scenario, two vehicles meant to be working in tandem could part ways, with disastrous consequences.
So on inspection, the van itself, although it has a handbrake lever, doesn't actually have a cable connected to it. So effectively it could just roll away now, but we've put some chocks under it. The trailer, the actual hitch is so badly broken that where they've put the runaway cable on, that's actually going to do nothing because the hitch would break and the whole thing would just roll away. So as the van turns left, there's a very good chance that trailer just carried on in a straight line.
One way or another, this wannabe recovery truck is going to need a real rescue vehicle very soon.
Right, well this vehicle's been prohibited already, so it can't move until either the defects are rectified or the owner comes with some sort of recovery vehicle to be able to recover safely the van and the trailer without those tyres touching the road. So effectively they'd need a lorry of some description.
Following the DVSA's prohibition of the vehicle, no further action was taken by the police. At Charles Wilson's yard in Manchester, Ian is dealing with a vehicle that was brought in 2 weeks ago after being found abandoned and with false plates.
A large percentage of vehicles will come in on false plates. There's no hard and fast rules, but it is definitely on the increase. You generally find that it's mostly criminal activity cars where you have false plates, or stolen cars where they want to continue using the car or they've got intentions to sell the car at a later date. Because of the cost of insurance, running a car, keeping it on the road, tax, driving lessons, everything, I would say about 40% of cars now coming in on some sort of false identity.
In a recent 6-year period, the number of cloned cars on UK's roads quadrupled. But this Ford Mondeo is going straight to the crusher.
Been here 14 days now. We've written to the register keeper. We've had no reply. We've submitted it to Greater Manchester Police to see what they want to do with it. They don't know whether it runs. They don't know whether it's got any mechanical issues. They don't know how reliable it is. They've checked with the insurance company's databases. There's no claims against it. They've checked with finance companies. So they've decided that in this situation that the vehicle should be crushed.
But before it's transformed into a cube of steel, it needs to be prepped.
I mean, some of them are really good cars, but without a key, you don't know if it's any good or not. So all we can do now really is recycle it, as is the modern way.
Ian begins removing the parts that need to be taken out before going to the breaker's yard.
You've got to make sure that nothing's going to happen in the process of transporting it. So we make sure that it's not going to basically blow up. The battery's full of acid, so you've got to take them out, but they've also got recyclable value to them because they can be reused. Unfortunately, this is the wrong battery for this car, so it's a bit awkward to get out. Our battery pile, that's kind of represents the number of cars that we're scrapping. There's probably 2 months worth there.
There's another Ford that's been in the pound for 14 days.
This is another Section 165, no insurance or no licence. The owner's unable to get it back for whatever reason, whether it's he's a disqualified driver or he hasn't got the funds to do so.
But rather than getting crushed, this one had been granted the automotive equivalent of a stay of execution.
This one's now going to auction, so we need to empty the property out and take the contents out and see what surprises this one has in store. More sticky sweets behind the seats, probably. Right.
Cars which end up at Wilson's are often used for illegal multitasking.
This is one of the things that the Chief Constable's been talking about, is criminals use cars and they use cars on a regular basis, and they generally commit one crime whilst committing other crimes. Now, to me, this has been driven as no insurance or no licence, but it also has unusual items in, shall we say. Somebody that's clearly into their gardening, because this is specialist fertiliser that's used for growing certain kinds of plants, certain kinds of herbal plants, shall we say, and I don't think it's parsley. He may just be into cactus. From our point of view, it's still property, so we still have to log it and secure it and store it for 90 days. However, I don't think he'll be coming in for this kind of thing. So it's ready to go to auction.
In the Scottish Highlands, Mora Motors owner and recovery driver Colin is on his way to attend to a broken down vehicle. He joined the business over 40 years ago after becoming an apprentice mechanic when he left school.
We've had a call out to investigate a lady who has clutch problems with her Land Rover Discovery. We're heading up to a fairly close location. The lady has left a safe location and left the keys, so we're just going to check it out.
The car's broken down in a potentially dangerous location.
It's near the railway station, and she had a bit of trouble on a level crossing, and the vehicle's now parked on the far side of the railway line, but in the past there has been a couple of incidents, once involving the Royal train on I think it may have even been Princess Anne on the train. Or was it Lady Diana? It was many moons ago, but the train actually the Royal train clipped a car on the level crossing as one of the Royal family were in it. They thought it may have been some kind of incident, but it was a genuine breakdown.
In a recent 10-year period in the UK, there were 87 collisions between trains and vehicles at level crossings, leading to 19 fatalities, and so safety is paramount. After arriving on the scene and starting the car, it doesn't take long for Colin to diagnose the problem.
Oh, just looks like a clutch hydraulic problem. The lady's managed to just pull into a place of safety, and it's looking a bit terminal for a roadside repair. Not the worst places in the world to break down. Beside the steam train should be here shortly.
As he loads the car onto the recovery vehicle, the railway crossing swings into action, heralding the arrival of the Jacobite steam train, also known as the Hogwarts Express, after starring in the Harry Potter films. Whilst Colin sets off, the train continues its scenic journey onto Fort William, taking in Loch Shiel, the Glenfinnan Viaduct, and Britain's highest mountain, Ben Nevis.
I'm sure the train's been running for the last 15 years plus, and has just got more and more popular due to the Harry Potter movies, where it's been one of the most scenic rail journeys in the world, voted in the top 10, I believe, if not less.
Colin heads back to base with the stricken Land Rover, looking to perform some of the old Mora magic to help fix the problem. Whilst the mechanics get to work on the off-roader, there's no let-up for the recovery drivers, as the calls keep flooding in and the pound continues to fill up.